So, if we were to summarize in 3 points. Yeah, so get you a support system that I was going to say is not going to judge you, but it's more that is not going to judge you. That is going to give you the help that you need in the way that you need it without telling you that what you need is not what you need. Right. Okay, before we summarize, can we just talk about that for a couple of minutes? Help is being given and offered help as a person with ADHD. It's so hard. So hard to accept. It's like it's hard to ask for help. It's so hard to accept help when it's being offered unsolicited. The only way to accept help comfortably is if a person just bursts into your home and does the thing. And that's something that Avi and I learned about each other very early on, I would say, is that help is literally like, I'm not going to ask for help. She's not going to ask for help. When you see your people needing help, just do it. Do not wait for them to ask. Just do the thing. You see something that you know will help, do it. To my stereotypicals, even if you don't understand why we need help in this particular, do it. Just do it. If you love that person, you want to help them, just do it. And I also think that when people start showing up for you like that, you'll learn to show up for them in the same way. That's how our bond was formed so strongly. Yeah. And we're talking like talk to you about everything that's going on with me because probably, again, let's go back to some ADHD common experiences. Probably I think that I'm not great at making friends. I think I'm a weirdo. I find it kind of hard to connect to people. Like people really like me, but then like I don't really feel like they like me. But then I'm not invited to stuff. But like maybe I was invited to stuff and I never picked up on the fact that I was invited. Which by the way, imagine the amount of times that someone said to you, "Hey, we're going to the movies," and you interpreted that as we are going to the. Hey, do you know that that's an invitation to the movies? It took me a really long time to understand that because, like, I used to be like, "Okay, fun," and people would change something else. But then, why wouldn't you say we're going? And then where they were going to go? Like, what did you think? I just never wanted to do anything. Literally, last year, this year, I haven't watched in TikTok and realized that invitation. Because making a statement, we're going to the movies, is not an invitation. An invitation is, would you like to come with us? Or are you coming and want to see this movie with us? Those are an invitation. An invitation is a question, not a statement. I just want to say that. An invitation is a question and not a statement. I did not know that, hey, we're going to go eat lunch now. Means come eat lunch with us. And I would be like, okay. I'm like, eat lunch with my desk. Because everyone else is at lunch. But like, what? I'm going to go buy lunch at the same place that everyone else is eating lunch and they didn't even invite me to come with them. Like, no, I'm going to eat here. Wait, oh my God. I have an embarrassing story that is okay. So when I was in my early 20s, one summer I was home visiting my parents and we went to the Pearlstein Resort, family resort, Wisconsin Dells. I grew up in Chicago area. For those of you who have not been able to tell yet, we went to the Wisconsin Dells to the Pearlstein Family Resort. And we were there with two other families with two guys who were my age and I had known previously from like, you know, through my parents or we'd met like through mutual friends throughout high school and then after. And we're all sitting outside, parents included. And then goes, yeah, okay, well, we're going to go to the water park tomorrow. I'm like, oh, okay. And they go, so, yeah, we're thinking of leaving at like, 10 or 11. What do you think? And I was like, whatever works best for you guys. Like, whatever works for you. And then everyone's staring at me and they're like, do you want to come? I go, I had nothing else to do. God. Like, yes, it's an embarrassing story, but also the story of every social interaction in my entire life. Like, sure, what else am I going to do? But like, a normal person would say, oh, yeah, great, cool, that sounds fun. But a normal person also earlier said, like, when they originally said, we're thinking of going at 10 or 10:30, a normal person would have said, oh, great, that works for me because, or can we do a little bit later because, and that whole cue was already missed. So now we're in a situation that was second missed cue because the first missed cue was, so we're going to go to the water park tomorrow. And I could have said, oh my God, that sounds like so much fun. What time are we leaving? The way I would never say, what time are we leaving? And when somebody said, we're going to the water park, we just not on there. Are we a we? Because I think, print in my head, nobody likes me. Nobody wants me around. Why are like cool and joy? Like, why are you rubbing it in my face? Right. Also, the little feeling of like, you already know you're annoying. Yeah. My little one the other day said to me, I am so annoying. And I was like, yeah, and also not annoying, and you're kind, and you're mean, and you're all sorts of different things at any given time. And also, the way that other people perceive you is not the measure of your worth. Mhm. Like, yeah, you're annoying, and it also you're, regulating your own nervous system. So who cares about them? My nephew once got upset that some kids call them dumb. And his dad said, like, well, and this is something that I adopted because I liked it so much. He goes, do you think you're dumb? Mhm. And my nephew goes, no. He goes, all right. That's all you need to know. Yep. Exactly. Like, that's the only opinion that matters. But as a late diagnosis person, or even someone who was diagnosed earlier, but has a late diagnosis understanding, or understanding diagnosis, I guess. I don't actually know the answers to those questions sometimes. Do you think you're annoying? I don't know. I used to think I was annoying, and now because I understand myself more, which also means I know how to manage I say manage myself, but like, my ADHD, but like, I don't know, we're the same thing. That is me because of my brain. It's like I know how to manage myself more, and so I don't think that anymore. The forgiveness process is long, but it happens. And not every day and not all the time and, not perfectly. But I I really feel like I'm awesome now. Whereas I've always known that I'm awesome. I know objectively that I'm awesome and I can tell you every reason that I'm awesome, but I didn't feel that was true until very recently, like within the last, I don't know, it changes every other week. So let's say within the last 2 years, inconsistently. I was going to say like around 2 years. Around 2 years, I would say I get that vibe from you. Yeah, I know it's mean. I actually, I would say also about myself, like the past 2 years about when I really, really became, became very aware of myself is when I started feeling most comfortable with myself about how I look, who I am, what I do. Like even the way I dress is more myself now. And it's not like I was wearing a costume before or trying to be something that I wasn't or trying to fit into a certain style. I simply just didn't have, I couldn't focus, you know? When you don't have enough focus to go around, and you have other things to do, you're not going to be focused on yourself. I don't have any entire time to be thinking, how do I want the world to perceive me today? I'm just white knuckling it. Or like it would change my mind. Yeah, that, or I would be changing my mind every other day about like, how do I want to look? Right, because people tell you that you need a consistent style. Why are you always changing your style? Well, because this is my Tuesday style and tomorrow's Wednesday. So what do you mean? I'm going to bounce all over the place. And that makes our environment, the people around us, really uncomfortable. So we tone ourselves down. So we become less. What do you wear? Less jewelry. So, whatever. And then even when people become more themselves, so like, think of someone who wears a ton of jewelry, lots of rings, lots of necklaces, big earrings, whatever. The majority of people would probably think that they're like a little witchy, or maybe like one of those like, yeah, like funky and yeah. You know, like those, like one of those like a Phoebe, loonies. Like a Phoebe Buffet. Yeah. When everyone just wants to be themselves authentically and unapologetically. And we should be able to do that. Everyone deserves that, really, as long as you're not anyone else. So no judgment. No judgment from your support systems. Number one is that support system that's going to be there for you, and they're just not going to judge you, and they can kind of pull on to the strings of your one, so that when you start to fly away and you start to not really know what's going on, they could just pull you back a little bit, recenter you. So that's one. Two was doing what you can when you can. What you can when you can. What you can when you can, again, without judgment, without shame, without should. It's not now. Yeah. The only things that you need to be, and listen, it's part of this whole, obviously, I didn't think to say this until now, but part of it is struggling with consistency and routine. Okay. So it's hard to have consistency and routine. So what I wanted to say that reminded me of that is the only thing that you need to be consistent about is making sure that you as a person are healthy and safe, and any living beings that are dependent on you are healthy and safe. And that doesn't count for spouses and friends. It counts for children and parents. Children, elders, pets. Like grown-ass adults that could care for themselves, they are on their own. They're on their own. I'm talking about like, make sure your children go to school like with clean clothes and a full lunchbox, and like make sure that like your elderly parent has proper care, right? Yeah. Like whatever, and that you walk your dog and change your cat's litter box, whatever it looks like, right? Yeah. Those are the only things. And for yourself, those are the only things. Yeah, change your own litter box. Those are the only things. Definitely change your own litter box, but I was going to not interrupt you. Those are the only things that consistently need to be tended to. There's nothing else. There is nothing else that can't wait until the next morning. Unless it's like, well, even if it's your job, a lot of the times it can just wait until the next morning. Nothing is really an emergency. But unless you're like a emergency responder, first responder. Yeah, please respond to emergencies promptly. Please respond to emergencies. And like deliver babies and shit. But like, support system, all know what I mean. Support system, do what you can when you can, and release yourself from should, shame, judgment, bullshit. Yeah. If we had to work. Also, a little tip for the people who feel like their executive functioning has a little bit to spare. I find that it really helps me to have one small routine that is very consistent for me, and that is my skincare routine. It is the only thing that I will not slack on for myself in my whole day. Like that and packing my kids' lunches, because who can be bothered to do that in the morning when kicking them out of the house. But like that one little thing, listen, sometimes I have to convince myself that I have to brush my teeth so that my teeth don't fall out, because like even the routine of brushing my teeth is so much work for me sometimes in terms of like mental bandwidth and executive functioning. Like my
It's so boring. There is not a single ounce of dopamine in that entire stupid process.
still such a struggle. But no matter what, I force myself to do this 5-minute skincare routine. Right? I get out of the shower where I've already washed. I do my toner. I do my special retinol serum, and I do my moisturizer. And it takes not even 5 minutes, right? It's like literally a minute and a half. Okay, or 5 minutes. It's just a lot of steps. That's what it is. It's not the times. The several steps. It gives me so much more in terms of being able to face a routine and have the executive functioning the next day. It's not that I wake up with like clean feeling skin. It's like the having one tiny consistent thing that I such hard work. It's really, really hard work to be consistent in this. But I find that it kind of creates a base to be consistent in other things.
Yeah.
What's like this? And I don't know if it's like having that routine and being consistent, or if it has to do more with like, having nice skin and feeling good about it. Whatever, take away from that what you will and do the thing that you connect more with, like whichever side of that coin you connect more with. But it helps. It's like a tiny thing that makes me feel like, okay, I can fucking be a person. This is something little that I'm doing what I can when I can. And it's tiny and it's fucking hard, but like I can do it.
And also teaching yourself that you do have the capacity to force yourself to do something when you need to.
Yeah.
When I need to, I don't choose not to. But when I need to, I know how to do that.
Yeah. 2 nights ago, I skipped it, just so you all know. I'm like not that amazing. I did skip it 2 nights ago because I was like, I fell asleep on the couch. It was midnight. I have to shower before I get into bed because I cannot sleep otherwise. And like, it was fine. Nothing happened. I woke up. It was fine. Nothing happened. Like, a little bit of forgiveness.
That's right. It's okay.
Yeah, exactly. And then I picked it up the next night, and that was it.
Not all ruined.
It was not exactly. It's not ruined. It's still, yeah, exactly. It's not ruined. It's fine.
Yeah. Support system. Do what you can when you can. Give yourself grace. Be kind. Be forgiving to yourself. Get rid of the shame and the energy draining bullshit. Let us just live in a world where people's neurodiversity is a celebrated strength. And the things that you can't do, well, there's lots of shit that neurotypicals can't do. So don't even worry about it for a second.
There's so many things that they can't do.
Oh my God, I can't even. On that note, if you want to hear us bash neurotypicals, stay tuned for future episodes. Thank you so much for having these conversations with me and opening up these topics. There's so much more for us to talk about. But if you are listening along and you followed, and first of all, 10 points, claps all around to you, because that's not easy. I think my editing team did something magical with this video to make it make sense. But even so, if you followed along, you are a unicorn. If you feel like you found your place and you found your people and what we're saying makes sense, stick around. We want to hear from you and we want to hear what you want to hear about. And mostly we want to talk to you. What's going on? What's happening in your life? What are you struggling with? Let's talk about it so we can stop struggling with it. Let's not struggle with things that we don't